Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and over the past month or so, I invested a little bit over $40,000, and I'm currently saving up to buy my first property for next year. Now, the idea is this, guys. Although right now is the perfect time to invest into the stock market, and I made several videos about it, I haven't really made a video about the books that helped me start and actually learn more about investing. Because although I invested $40K into the stock market, I didn't do it out of my own volition. I had to learn how to do it from people that are actually experts. So in this video right here, I'm going to give you guys the top 5 books that I read when it comes to the stock market and also real estate to help me actually get started. And by the way, if you want to read any of these books, links down below. And on top of that, I have a link down below for an Audible trial. And when you sign up, you get 2 free books. And even if you cancel, you still get to keep them. And by the way, I also post videos every single day on this channel. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And on top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, the very first book I want to break down here is actually The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Now, this book is more about investing into the stock market like I did this past month. By the way, guys, okay, the interesting thing about this book is you can always tell when a book is really good. When the book is literally like around 70 years old and it's still around today, people still read it and talk about it because all the rules still stand till this day. And this is the book that actually helped Warren Buffett become Warren Buffett, the billion-dollar investor. So when I was 19 years old, I read this book and I made my first investment, and it was actually into Walmart. And I bought Walmart at a very low price and then sold it for 15% of my money. And that was kind of like the start of me actually learning how to actually invest. Now, the core principles and ideas of this book are very simple. The idea is when you're investing into the stock market, you're investing into businesses. So before you just invest money, you want to understand those companies, understand the price, and also understand what you're actually paying for it. So for example, guys, one of the most popular companies right now in the stock market is basically Tesla. And one day it's 500, the next day is 700, and the next day it might be even $900. Now, the reason this happens is because people think the price is gonna keep going up, and then next thing you know, it drops down. You never really know what's going to happen. However, as an investor, and by reading this book right here, is going to teach you the true value of any company out there by calculating the fair value and also the intrinsic value of the company. It basically shows you exactly, well, how do I analyze the company, its assets, its liabilities, the 10K forms. It teaches you every single aspect of a stock and how to analyze it. So this way, say for example, you find out like, hey, the true value, the intrinsic value of Tesla is $500. So anytime you buy under $500, you're getting a good deal. Above that, you know for a fact it's overpriced. And that's what this book is going to teach you. And that's why it's one of my favorite books. But a little tip here is this, guys, okay? When I read this book when I was 19 years old, it felt like I was reading Japanese, okay? Because it's so complicated sometimes. So what you want to do is when you're reading this book, just make sure to have Google right next to you and Google every single word you don't understand, because the last thing you want to be is the person that reads an entire page, doesn't know what was going on there, and just goes on to the next one, okay? You want to understand, comprehend, practice, and basically study this book completely, and that's the only way to do it, okay? And number 2, guys, is The Little Book About Investing by John C. Bogle. And one of my favorite things about this book, guys, honestly, is all the drama and shade that John C. Bogle throws to all those mutual funds and all that extra stuff that charge you a ton of money on fees, because basically, if you don't know who John C. Bogle is, guys, he's the godfather of index funds, meaning he created the very first index fund for Vanguard, and he's the person that did all of that. So in the book, he goes into detail, hey, just invest into index funds. This way you own the entire market and you don't get charged a ton of fees, and this way you can actually build real long-term wealth, okay? Now, while doing this, he throws a lot of shade at other companies like mutual funds saying like, hey, they charge you 1%, which is like a third of all your profits in the long run. Hey, they actually go bankrupt. Like all the stats are in this book, and that's why I love it, because it's also entertaining to read, but it also shows you a very concrete way to just invest into the stock market and basically build your investments without having to take any risk. Think about it like owning the entire stock market and not just owning one company and taking so much risk. That's the entire idea here. And although I do have to mention this, guys, okay? Because Warren Buffett is a stock picker. John C. Bogle owns the entire market in a sense, okay? So one of them has a lot more diversification and one of them has a lot more risk. But once you understand how to understand a company, and also if you don't want to do that, because what they don't tell you about Warren Buffett and investing is that this guy takes 8 hours every single day out of his day to just read financial statements. If you don't want to do that, well, index fund investing is the best way to do it, because basically all you do is invest money and basically get what the market gets every single year and build wealth long term just by doing that without having to take any major risk. So you have to decide index funds or individual stocks, or if you want to be like me, just do both, okay? It's your money, do whatever you want with it. And now, number 3, guys, is The Millionaire Investor by Gary Keller. Now, if you want to learn about investing into real estate, it's one of the best books. It's going to teach you exactly how to actually do that and how to take the luck out of real estate, because it's one of the most expensive investments out there. And if you make a mistake, okay, it might cost you thousands of dollars and it might set you back for a very long time. So this book takes away the luck, but what if it doesn't work out? It takes away all those factors. And one of the 3 main nuggets in this book is basically, it's going to teach you how to define your criteria for real estate deals. So do you want a 2-bedroom? Do you want a single family? Do you want a multifamily? What exactly are you looking for? On top of that, it's going to teach you exactly how to define your terms. Like what has to be your profit margin every single year, your ROI, to actually make this deal worth it. If it doesn't match your ROI, you might just want to pass on the deal. It's also going to teach you exactly how to build a portfolio that is worth $1 million. And that's the entire idea here. And lastly, it's also going to teach you exactly how to build a competent real estate network of realtors, accountants, and everything you actually need to run a business that's also automated if you want to, but also more like you have to be there and actually going through everything also. So kind of like a full around book, and I love it, and I'm still reading it to this day over and over again while I'm getting ready to buy my first property next year. And now the 4th book is actually the book about rental property investing. Now, this book was recommended to me by a video I saw by Graham Stephan. Now, if you guys know, Graham Stephan has a bunch of money in real estate. Also, Meet Kevin has a bunch of money in real estate. And if you notice, my whole thing is I want to get to that point also. So I'm learning from different people. However, guys, okay, I want to point this out. When you read this book, the other book, also you watch Graham Stephan or even Meet Kevin, I want you to take the criteria they have and make it your own in a sense, okay? Because every single person out there has different goals and different things they actually want to have. So this book right here is going to show you the pros and cons of owning rental property, how to use leverage to actually own rental property, because although real estate is very expensive, oh my gosh, like, $200,000 for the average property in America. Well, in reality, if you're going to live in it for the very first time, all you really have to put down is 3.5%, and that is called leverage. But I also have to mention one thing here for all the people that actually enjoy watching Dave Ramsey, okay? There is a difference from controlling real estate and actually owning real estate outright, okay? If you just use leverage, you're gonna get there much faster, but the risk is also much higher. If you just want to use cash, it's gonna take you a lot longer, but it's also gonna give you more stability, but also it's gonna take way too long if you ask me, okay? So that's why I rather leverage people's money and then buy more rental property when I start doing it next year, and not just buy things in cash, because imagine how long it's going to take you to save $200,000 and buy a property in cash, okay? So that's for the Dave Ramsey people that I know are going to comment down below and tell me, Tommy, no, don't use leverage, don't use debt. I get that, but it's going to take way too long. Now, number 5 and my final book here is actually The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this book right here, believe it or not, is the book that made me the person you're seeing right now. The person with the orange lights back here, the person talking to you about investing. Because before I read this book, I was just a kid making some decent amount of money and spending all his money on clothes and also very fancy, expensive Gucci belts that didn't really make any sense and only were really liabilities, okay? Now, this book right here is going to teach you exactly how to invest, how to budget your money. Because although you might want to invest into the stock market or the real estate market, you can't start investing until you master your very own wallet. This is not a wallet. Here is a wallet. If you can't master your wallet, how much money comes in and how much money comes out, it's going to be very hard to save up the money and actually know exactly what you're actually doing. And guys, that is about it for my top 5. However, I do have 2 more extras here, and that is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a great book that shows you the difference between a liability and also an asset. And summary here, assets put money in your wallet, and basically liabilities take money out your wallet. And also a second extra is actually Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book, but it's more about mentality and how to get things working. If you want to read that book, by all means check it out. And don't forget, books are great, but if you don't put them into practice, they're just a big waste of time, okay? So just make sure, what I used to do all the time is while I'm reading, I'm practicing, and I'm also doing at the same time, okay? Information without action is just accumulation of nonsense. Just don't even waste your time. Make sure you actually practice what you're reading, and that is all I have to say here. But guys, comment down below and let me know which one of these 5 are you actually gonna start with. I recommend The Rich Man in Babylon. Check it out. Also, link down below to everything, and also my link down below to Audible, and that way you get 2 free books without having to worry about actually paying for them. And as always, if you enjoyed this video right here, well, like this video. On top of that, also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And before I go, guys, I have a new channel. It's called the TommyBryson Show. Check it out. It is hilarious. And also follow me on Instagram at TommyBryson. And if you want to watch another video about how investing works and everything, watch this video right here. Click my face right here to also start doing it on. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.